Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Auditor, can we have a roll call, please?
Okay, Councilmember Jessen.
Not yet.
No, thanks.
Coming soon.
Councilmember Whitten.
I am here.
Councilmember Conover.
Present.
Councilmember Graham.
Here.
Councilmember Larson.
Here.
Councilmember Bozick.
Here.
And Councilmember Rivas.
Here.
7 present.
Okay, thank you. We also, in the audience, have a special guest that I'd like Councilman Bozak to introduce, if he would, please.
We've got Timothy Wheeler. He's from Chesterton High School. He's in 9th grade, and he is interning this evening for his class for preparation for college and careers. He's interested in politics and running for office in the future. So, Tim, if you could just stand up.
Welcome to him.
He also sat through our foundation meeting, which was a lot of numbers, so he's ready for this one.
Good. Very good. First reading.
Notice to taxpayers of proposed additional appropriations. Notice is hereby given the taxpayers of Porter County, Indiana, that the proper legal officers of Porter County will meet in the Porter County Government Administration Building located at 155 Indiana Avenue, Valparaiso, Indiana, on September 26, 2017 at 5:30 p.m. to consider the following additional appropriations in excess of the county budgets for the year 2017 and to transact any further business which might come before the council. General Fund, General Courts, $1330, Psychiatric Services, $15,000. Sheriff, $2220, Uniforms, $25. Garage, Sheriff, $4540, Other Equipment, $9,800. Local Health Maintenance Fund, $1168, $1120, Hourly, $25,000. Rainy Day Fund, $1186, Commissioners, $3120, Consultants, $4,147, E911, $4510, Data Processing Equipment, $40,641.08. ILHDTA Fund, $1206, $1120, Hourly, $30,000. Drug Task Force Fund, $4010, $4420, Motor Vehicles, $10,500. Public Service Data Processing, $4907, $4510, Data Processing Equipment, $541. Taxpayers appearing at such meetings shall have a right to be heard thereon. The additional appropriations, as finally made, will be referred to the Indiana Department of Local Government Finance. The DLGF will make a written determination as to the sufficiency of funds to support the appropriations made within 15 days of receipt of a certified copy of the action taken, signed Vicki Urbanek, Auditor of Porter County, published September 15th in the Chesterton Tribune.
Thank you very much. We'd like to adjust the schedule slightly for tonight's meeting. We have the commissioners first on our agenda, and the first matter that we'd like to address is take the adoption of the capital improvement bond issuance and appropriation of bond process, second reading. We'd like to go with that first. So assuming there's no objection to that, that's what we will address first. I'd like to take a moment to kind of set the stage a little bit for this second reading, the bond issuance, as a reminder to many and maybe new information for some, but to talk a little bit about how this developed. As many of you know, the capital improvement plan is addressing many deficiencies that we have throughout the county in terms of assets that have been neglected and are in desperate need of repair and maintenance. Commissioners developed a comprehensive plan, capital improvement plan, all under the guise of not raising taxes. As presented, it was clear to me and many others that there were no excessive bells, whistles, no extras, no Ferris wheels, I think is what we talked about specifically. Now, some would argue or could argue that it's not a perfect plan. Perhaps they have a different idea on what should be included in the plan. And I would say that if I were to be asked, is it a perfect plan? You know, I can't say that for certain, but I can tell you it does address the most desperate and immediate facility and space needs that we have in the county today, and also going forward into the future. So I would suggest to not let the illusion of perfection get in the way of progress that we've established for the county. I'd also like to remind everyone that this is the second reading of the bond issuance, and it's not a public hearing. The public hearing on this matter was held in these chambers on August 22nd, with included a presentation by the commissioners in terms of what the capital improvement plan was. That information has also been available online for quite some time, detailing out what's included in the plan. At that public hearing, obviously, the public was afforded the opportunity to comment and question what was included in that plan. The commissioners are here tonight to update us on the plan, if there's been, and to answer any questions that the council members may have. Any changes from the original introduction of the plan, would be important to discuss. And so with that setting of the stage, I'd like to entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second. There's a motion on the floor that has a second for the adoption of the capital improvement bond issuance and the appropriation of bond process, second reading. So I'd like to open up the floor to the council members, or maybe first let the commissioners.
Before we start asking questions, talking about this, I'd like to hear from the commissioners, since there's been some changes. I think the old jail is one of them. You could kind of update us on where we're at with all of that, and we can kind of go from there.
So as the council is aware, we got a resolution from the fiscal body to move forward with the statutory process in an attempt to buy the old jail, 157 Franklin. We went through that process. We got two appraisals. The statute allows us to offer up to the average of the two together. We made a diligent effort with the owners and were unable to make that transaction occur. As we had originally presented, Plan B was to add on to the existing administration building that we are in. When it was originally designed and built, it had the space for the addition. So therefore, the change in the plan is to, instead of going with the idea of buying the new building and finishing it out in the manner that we would need to, we would be adding on to this administration building in the space that was provided originally when the building was designed, the courtyard. Also, the parking garage itself, when it was originally built, also allows for us to add maybe an additional story to that for additional parking due to the additional size of the space available for the addition. So we would have the parking available at the parking garage and also the space in the courtyard to allow for the addition here to deal with the space needs that we were attempting to deal with at the old jail.
So with respect to the cost of those two options, what's the difference?
About the same.
How many square feet does it add? And you're adding both stories in the courtyard, I assume?
It would be all three stories is what we're looking at. We're roughly 27,000 square foot.
And I know one of the reasons you guys were looking at that building was a little bit closer proximity to the
Correct.
courthouse as we go in there.
It was 1A. This is 1B.
So just moving some of the offices over here to release some of the traffic over there so we can get into that.
Same concept as the old jail, removing those items or those offices that we are able to from the Valparaiso Courthouse downtown to allow us to free up some space to first move into that part of the capital project plan, which is to fix, renovate, make watertight, et cetera. And so to be able to do that, we needed some of the additional space, and that was originally, again, 157 Franklin. Plan B was the addition here at the courtyard.
Do you suspect then that the addition to the courthouse, because I know that when we talked about acquiring the old jail, one of the concerns was that was too much space, particularly when you consider the potential operational cost of that. So when we're talking about this renovation here, is it too much space? Is it going to be enough space? Are we going to be talking in 5 years about needing more?
We think we are going to be able, with some space allocation that's on the first floor under us, and the trade-off on some of those as we expand out of that courtyard. The building was originally designed, we're able to go off of it. That hallway then kind of swings out as a double hallway. We think we're able to deal with the space concerns. The 157 was roughly 36,000 square feet.
Right.
This is roughly 28,000 square feet. We may lose some square footage, but what we're getting back, as everything is a give and take, we always were going to have parking as an issue of 157. We don't have parking here
Yeah, that's my question. I mean, we were looking at acquiring 36,000 square feet, we're going to have a 27th. Is that enough?
We believe it is.
All right. And then I got to believe there's operational cost differences. I mean, having just an add-on here has got to be cheaper than a whole new building, I would think.
We would
right?
agree.
Well,
Okay.
I guess a couple things. E911, we talked about being able to move E911 over to that building. What?
That would still be one of the primary things being moved into this. Now, it may not be in the addition. We haven't decided, we haven't got to a space planning portion, but the additional square foot, we would still be looking at moving 911 into this building.
And what, if any, offices you were thinking about moving into the old jail, will you not be moving in here? Are there
Right now, everything is still on track.
Everyone that we talked about?
Yeah, I mean, we are, the one we're still dealing with exactly how much space everybody has, so we're probably going to start with a space study,
Okay.
dealing with the prosecutors of probation, because one of the hurdles we're dealing with is, do they have enough space now, or do they have too much space now? And that's kind of, we still believe everything's going to fit, including potentially 4D.
What will that do schedule-wise then? I think it was American Structure Point that you guys had to do all of this?
Well, American Structure Point was working on Porter County North. We would probably be looking at maybe potentially who was the original architect of this building.
What would the schedule be? What are we looking at then?
Well, we'd probably start off with a space study, and then we're still looking at potentially spring as far as moving forward with the bidding process. We can start with the space plan, then the build-out. This is obviously not going to be in some sort of architectural marble in the courtyard. It's going to look like what we have here, so...
So timing of like other things, I mean, I guess generally speaking, we know that the bridges are...
Those are underway. Those are already,
I suspect you're starting on the front of the building soon?
We are.
All right.
We're planning on getting some equipment out there soon.
All right. And then with respect to the proposed developments at North County and the proposed developments here now, simultaneous, one before the other?
Simultaneous.
Will some of this money then be used if we're moving 911 here, are we going to do some renovation at the sheriff's department then, inside there as we move a little out, or is that not included, or is that?
We haven't got there yet, but
Far yet?
obviously, there's going to be some space that's going to be opened up there, so it's something we'll look at when we actually, that's probably now we are a little bit farther down the road, considering we got to get something built, moved in, get them moved over here. The moving the 911, we've contemplated with the new megahertz system, so we've asked those questions, so we're, obviously able to move that, but the space that we're vacating from the from the sheriff's department, obviously could be used by the sheriff's department.
With a space allocation study that's being done, will that include a comprehensive look at all the different
It would be
county
looking,
buildings?
no, this would be looking at the courthouse and this building.
So can you, because obviously there's some folks in the audience here from Portage, can you explain in some specificity what's the proposal to the North County building?
The North County building currently is around 15,000 square feet. It's roughly 40 years old. What the plan that we've had so far is to add an additional 15,000 square feet, renovate the entire existing 15,000 square feet. We would add an additional courtroom, anticipating growth. We're looking down the road 20 years. There would be three courtrooms within Porter County North. We're looking at secured parking for judges and prosecutors, et cetera. We're looking for a secured way to handle prisoner transport with a sally port. We're looking to bring the health department back in to the Portage Courthouse. We're looking at the base design that we've had from American Structure Point would have the entrance would be such that we would have a community room and the assessor and the health department accessible before going through security. The community room would double as not only a community room, but for early voting purposes also, so that we wouldn't have the inconvenience that we have now of dealing with court security while trying to do early voting. Once you got past those core functions and getting more into the judicial section, then you would be in a secured area and go through security. And again, we'd have a sally port area. Right now, we're basically backing up on the sidewalk to be able to get in custodies into the building. The SAL report would allow us to have a little bit more control over that situation. The health department and the assessor in the community room would obviously, they're on the opposite side of where the prisoner transport would be taking place, so we're keeping a separation, which was some of the problem that we had that drove us to move the health department out of Porter County North.
Logistically speaking, Judge Whitten, is that going to be?
I mean, as part of that plan also, we're talking about, obviously repaving the parking lot, and we're also talking about taking some of the outlots up on Willow Creek and getting those potentially on the market and get those out of the county hands and into some potential development.
All right, so let's just lay it out there then. So we've got roughly $10 million of the $30 million is being proposed to be spent in the North County.
Not counting the bridges, correct.
Not counting the bridges. Okay, so a couple things. One is I just want to, and we're not here for a public hearing, so I'm just going to give a couple thoughts and ask a couple questions. As you may have noticed, there's some folks from North County here tonight, and I think that there is, I know that there is some concern with respect to the benefit that this will do for North County, and particularly City of Portage, versus, other locations or other places. And I think that you guys had received a proposal, certainly we did, and in weighing all those things, you've made the determination that this option is the viable option, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
So, again, there's a few people here for that conversation. I just, as a representative of the City of Portage and most of Portage Township, I'd like to take a minute to speak on that. There's a number of ideas out there. And, we've been asking for a comprehensive plan for a little while, and I appreciate that you guys have done it. And there's the idea of a downtown Portage building. And I like the idea. I think it would be a great idea, a city-county complex, two government entities working together. What really got me excited, of course, moving some core services downtown, but it opened up a couple more pieces of property for development, maybe. Our old piece of property, the old City Hall, I think some offices across the street, for development, which could have been businesses coming in and some jobs. It could have been a great thing, but that's not the only idea that was out there. And I think at the end of the day, instead of, attacking one idea that's not going to prevail or attacking the people who presented an idea, that's not the right approach. Because really, looking at it from the representative from that area, at the end of the day, there's $10 million, a third of this bond that's going into the City of Portage. And that's a lot of money, and that's a great thing. We're fixing our facilities, and we're putting $10 million in Portage. And it's just not that. I mean, I'm thinking a lot the last couple days. Portage and Portage Township is really benefiting. Over the last month now, we're going to have voted for $50 million worth of work. The stormwater bond, $1.5 million is going into Portage to partner with Portage at Willow Creek and 700 North. A great portion of that $20 million is going to go into Portage Township in the South Haven area. That will help, all that flooding back there. A third of this facilities bond is going to go into Portage. Yeah, it may not be going downtown. I would have loved to see it, but it's still going into Portage to fix up our facility. That's a third of that bond. Portage and Portage Township, my district, is benefiting hugely, tremendously. The population of Portage is going to benefit. These are construction jobs. This is improving our facilities, improving our infrastructure, all up north. I'm happy to be a part of that. We always don't get what we want, We've asked for this plan. I'm glad it's here. It's not exactly what I want in some parts of it, but I'm not going to sit here and stand in the way of progress, good progress. This is good stuff. I'm telling you, I would have loved it. Me and Dan have worked tirelessly on the phone. We've talked to the commissioners. I know the commissioners have met with people from the City of Portage. We've debated it, we've argued it, we've presented it, but here we are, and I'm not going to stand in the way of Portage still getting $10 million and more with the stormwater stuff. This is a good thing for Portage. This is a good thing for Portage Township. So there's really good things here. So
Any other additional questions from the councilman?
You know, I'm going to echo a lot of what Jeremy said. This capital projects plan didn't come overnight. It took a tremendous amount of conversation between the two bodies, the two boards. It took a lot of work and effort to get the funding in place, create the foundation, create the earnings. It's been a long trip, and I've made, no bones about it. I mean, certainly a downtown building in Portage would be a shot in the arm for the city. However, that idea is not one that is prevailing. We have 7 members here and 3 members on the commission. Commissioners choose the locations, they sign the contracts, we appropriate the funds. And like Jeremy said, we're faced with the option of, is this the capital projects plan that I would have crafted in its exact specificity? No, and I doubt very seriously that anybody up here can say otherwise. And I think, quite frankly, from the conversations that the commissioners have had, they've bounced around different ideas. I mean, and there's been some compromise and some give and take, and in dealing with these two boards, this ends up being the net result of those give and takes. And as Jeremy has indicated, we as a county council have the option of not appropriating these funds or not passing this bond and stymieing $30 million of work, $30 million of trades people going to work, many of which do live in Portage, $10 million of development in the city of Portage, plus the other things Jeremy recited. And I know people in Portage, I know the leadership had hoped for something more. And I share your vision, but it is simply not something that is going to happen. We have to appreciate those things that are going to happen. And I think that when our men and women are going to work and swinging hammers and laying bricks and doing carpenter work and receiving the fruit of the labor, the $30 million of investment back into this county, a third of which goes into my hometown, we just have to try to appreciate that. Because in the end, that's what you're going to get.
Sylvia?
Yes, I would just like to say that Portage is the largest city in the county. Portage Township and South Haven is the largest area that's not incorporated. And when you look at the projects that are that we're going to be voting on today, it is going to be a win-win for Portage. It really is. I know you're not. If you had your brothers, it would possibly be a different way. But the people that have decided have made their decision, and I can't vote no to something that's going to provide jobs for the north part of the county, for all of the county, really. It is a project, if you look at it, it's going to be a tremendous boom for Portage and Portage Township. And I would hope that, as Dan said, look to the good parts that are going to be coming. Portage has done well with this bond issue.
Thank you. Any additional discussion?
I'd like to finish as we're looking to invest money in our infrastructure and buildings, as we build things. The last thing over the last couple of weeks, I was looking for ways, maybe to get this idea through. What I didn't want to do is destroy anything or burn any bridges in the meantime. I want to still make sure Portage is heard, that we can partner on things moving forward in the future, and to me that was important. And I'll continue to work on that. I feel happy, I feel proud as a representative of Portage. The last month, $50 million we're passing in bonds, and Portage is getting a big chunk of that. So, I'm happy about that.
Thank you. Any additional discussion? Karen?
If you have something to say, I was going to.
I was just going to say, this, the commissioners made it clear to us from the get-go, this is a needs list, not a wish list. And we're doing what's most economically possible with our taxpayer money. And the charm of all of this is it's not adding to the tax rate. They even came up with a creative financing plan that's going to work for us. A lot of studies been going into this, better than a year and a half, 2 years. And everything was on the table, and this is the plan.
Thank you. Seeing no additional discussion, there is a motion on the floor that has a second. Let's have a roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Witten.
Yes.
Councilmember Conover.
Yes.
Councilmember Graham.
Yes.
Councilmember Larson.
Yes.
Councilmember Bozick.
Yes.
Councilmember Rivas.
Yes.
Councilmember Jessen.
Yes.
7 affirmative.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we will move on to the Commissioner's regular portion of the agenda, starting out with the rainy day fund.
Make a motion to approve the additional 4147 to 3120 consultants rainy day fund.
Second.
Motion on the floor that is second for the rainy day fund, 4147 to 3120 consultants.
Take a minute. Take a second, let people get out, because we're not going to be able to hear you. Mark, have a good night. Sorry to help. It was nice to meet you. That was, Mr. Mayor's trying to get a little angry, that's why I was smiling. I didn't want you to... Anytime, you guys got one. Told you. There goes my 40s vote. So, Tim, now we're going to get, once the room clears out, we're going to get into more of the normal meeting. So this will be the normal council meeting that we're going to be going through, okay? You'll see transfers and us moving money and stuff. Again, anything that's outside the budget that the departments need, they're going to come to us for approval.
Right there.
Is that okay? I would love to, yeah. Welcome, Judge. I didn't know that was appropriate. Thank you.
That's bad.
I think it's a lot different perspective, too. Yeah, it is. And you can tap it on a strong constituency. So what do they see that leaves these four? Thank you. There's a package for it, all right? And you can. So this is what we're going over now. So these are all the money they're going to be asking us to move. So you can read that there. And then this is actually the forms that they use to move the money. This is an appropriation. And they're asking us to take $4,100 pretty much out of 1186 and move it, out of 1186 rainy day funds and put it here, and that's why. Okay, so it'll show all the reasons that they need money moved. So you've got all these different funds that have all this money in it, but they can't spend, the money's there for staples, for example. You can't do it, for example, without getting approved to move that money. So the next meeting, say for the next meeting after this is our budget. We're actually approving every single department's budget. Sheriff, jail, got that money. The judges. Turn off your back. Yeah, so these two called me back.
Okay, as the dust settles,
You'll see them come up. Give me your number.
continues to settle.
It's that one, I'm telling you. It's that one, I'm telling you. Thought we fixed it. That's why I blew into it to see if it was fixed.
That's it.
That woke me up.
It's been great.
Yeah.
Okay, as the dust has settled, we will get back into the Commissioner's portion of the regular agenda, and there was a motion on the floor that had a second on the rainy day fund transfer, or additional, excuse me. Any additional discussion on that additional? If not, roll call, please.
Okay, Councilmember Conover?
Yes.
Councilmember Graham?
Yes.
Councilmember Larson?
Yes.
Councilmember Bozick?
Yes.
Councilmember Rivas?
Yes.
Councilmember Jessen?
Yes.
Councilmember Witten?
Yes.
7-0.
Yep.
I make a motion on the $100,000 transfer from building structures to equipment, 800 megahertz.
Second.
Motion on the floor that has a second for the transfer of 100,000 building structures to equipment other than vehicles for the 800 megahertz radio purchase for the ambulance garages and ambulances. Any discussion?
Yeah, obviously, this is going to continue to come for a little bit. You guys will be in front of us next month for some more as we...
Yep. We just pushed this one through because with our agreement with Porter Hospital, the fund was there to buy these radios contractually, so we just wanted to get our ambulances done first, so.
President? Did you guys recently decided to match the Hebron grant, right?
That's next.
That's next.
I'm sorry, that's what I was going to ask. That's what I was
Yeah.
ahead of you. Thank you.
Well,
You're a step ahead of
And
that.
thank you for that, by the way.
yeah.
Any additional discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries.
Motion to approve the 3 transfers from cable franchise funds.
Second.
Motion on the floor that has a second for the transfer, $68,000 for the 10% matching funds for the South County communities for 800 megahertz radios. Any discussion?
Andy?
Tom, it's a lot of money to do this upgrade, but it's really good for our county.
And not to be underscored, the grant itself that they got was a
Yes.
$750,000 grant.
Yeah, and I would just like to thank Morgan Township, Pleasant Township, Boone Township, and Porter Township. They got together as a group and submitted this a while back, and when we got the announcement about a month ago, everybody was pretty happy, so it was very good effort on their part, so.
Very,
Do
very
you know
well
what
done.
fire departments are left now? Are we going to have trouble there?
We still have a list of other township fire departments we're working through. When you get down to the township level, the needs really change, and so we're looking at, almost have to get down to the weeds with each different department. So we're working through that right now. Hopefully, we will have the entire finished package to bring back to you the end of October. So be looking forward to that.
Any additional discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries.
Let's do a motion to approve the rainy day fund additional $40,641.08 to data processing equipment, please.
Second.
Okay, now, did we skipped over the next, last two?
No, the motion was all about it.
Seven, concur with that? Yep. Good.
Well, this is E911. Should we have the new E911 director in front of us?
Yes.
Bring 'em up.
Come on up, Mike.
He's a very tall gentleman.
Yeah. Here.
How you doing, Mr. Smith?
hot seat, I'll sit next to you.
Big ear, you
She's gonna help the chief of the...
Why don't you... And he's now our E911 director and emergency.
Sure.
He ran for sure.
Okay, council members. You may recall that the rainy day fund is actually a shared fund between the commissioners for liabilities related to the jail building lease, as well as E911 has had a share of it. And you probably remember that for the last few years, we've been hearing that the rainy day fund is drying up, E911 doesn't have any more money. What we're proposing, and Mike and I have discussed this, is that his rainy day fund budget was cut down to zero by the state because there's not enough revenue to support his budget. So what this appropriation will do, it will partially restore his budget request, allow him to spend his portion of the rainy day fund, and then if you spend the entire appropriation this year, his part of the rainy day fund will be closed off, only leaving the commissioner's portion. His remaining balance is about $29,000. The appropriation is for $40,000. That's for the full year, though.
Makes sense to me.
Any additional discussion on the motion?
Mr. Chairman, if I may real quick, historically, the fee that was feeding 911 was coming from the fees that were attached to landlines. Well, as the advent of the popularity of the cell phone has grown, landlines have disappeared, and that's why that fee has been drying up.
And as much as we've encouraged the state to move more of that fee into cell phones and such, they haven't quite kept up with the pace. But who knows what tomorrow will bring?
We'll work on it.
I agree, Mr. Witt.
Any additional discussion? If not, Have a roll call vote, please.
Okay, Councilmember Graham?
Yes.
Councilmember Larson?
Yes.
Councilmember Bozick?
Yes.
Councilmember Rivas?
Yes.
Councilmember Jessen?
Yes.
Councilmember Witten?
Yes.
And Councilmember Conover?
Yes.
7-0. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You just cleaned up a budgetary problem.
And that's what we're here for, Vicki. I'll make a motion on the 144, 715 to 73,000.
Second.
What are we doing here?
It's the next thing on the agenda.
I understand that.
This is, Councilman, first of all, thanks for having me, my first meeting. I
Jump right in.
appreciate the opportunity, yep.
Well,
This is a new salary, just a reevaluated salary for the new EMA director. The past EMA director has resigned from his post, and just coming in front of the council to request this additional funding for this position.
So, is this a raise request then, or is this something that you guys,
This is Dan, this is a total rebuild of the EMA. And part of that total rebuild is a salary structure where that position will be taking on more responsibilities.
so let's talk a little bit about that. So the EMA director, so tell me about the hierarchy. So, Mike, you're at the top.
Executive director, correct?
And then below you will be an EMA director and sort of the guy running the
911 director, correct.
And your anticipated hierarchy or general structure is going to be that the EMA director and the 911 director will both make the same?
No, sir. The EMA director at 73,000, the 911 director, right now we have at 70. And I do have a presentation for Thursday that will talk about the new structure for the chart, organizational chart, but that's the salaries that are pretty much comparable to the old positions. The old EMA director was making more than the 911 director to begin with, under the old structure.
Boggles the mind, really. Okay, that's my question, thank you.
So your title will you still E911 director, or?
Executive Director for Public Safety overseeing 911 and EMA.
Will you be overseeing the day-to-day operations in E911?
I'm sorry?
Will you be overseeing the day-to-day operations in E911, or are we going to hire somebody else?
There will be somebody to oversee a lot of the day-to-day operations along with myself and the operations of the EMA as well, which both departments are in need of that.
Any additional discussion?
so there's going to be another person, besides these two, what we're approving here, there's going to be another person that's not listed in this. You said you're at the top, there's going to be somebody else that's overlooking the director for 911?
There's going to be him. He's the executive director,
Right.
grand poobah, whatever you want to call him. And then below him, there will be a 911 director and an EMA director.
That's all I,
Yeah, tomorrow, just as I mentioned last night, tomorrow night, you will see the entire new 911 and EMA budget put together. And as I mentioned last night, when we were in front of you,
We're going to see that tomorrow, you said?
Thursday, I'm sorry. I got Thursday. Yeah.
I ain't gonna see it.
I'll be sitting here alone. But Thursday night, as we talked, when Mike came on board from a timing perspective on the budgets, so we've been scrambling, trying to put our new organizational structure together, budgets. That will all be presented tomorrow evening on your, Thursday evening.
And here's the deal. Mike's talked to a lot of us. I sat down with Mike, and my recommendation to Mike was, you're coming into a system that, on its very face, is broken, it needs to be fixed. Don't come to us with a presentation that you just think might work, and then you come back to us in December and say, I was wrong, I was just kidding, I need this much more. I asked Mike to put together what he really believes to be, working with the commissioners, what he really needs to run those departments effectively. So that's what I'm anticipating we're going to see, not tomorrow.
Thursday. Yes.
Do we have someone to fill in the spot then? Is that why we're doing this, obviously, right now?
Yes. Yes. Because obviously, we didn't want to let EMA have a department without anybody in it other than one person.
That's when you get the old spill.
That's
what happens.
Exactly.
Me and Jeff are out there in waiters.
Yeah.
So, this will, I know I'm skipping ahead, but the E911 director, what are you guys proposing for that? Is it going to be equal, the same, or this person still make more than that person?
What we have in the budget now is a salary of $70,000.
Okay. Are you proposing anything different on Thursday? I'm just, why does the EMA director make more than the E911 director? Is there more stress on that plate?
Well, the past EMA director was making more than the 911 director, and I don't know why, but to keep in that same structure, the EMA director is going to be making more still than the next 911 director.
Just curious.
Correct.
Yes.
Homeland
That's
Security
the other,
pays
Homeland
50% of
Security's
that.
weighing in on this, too.
Okay, can we get the question on this one?
Okay, so let's vote on the Form 144, roll call, please.
Councilmember Larson?
Yes.
Councilmember Bozick?
Yes.
Councilmember Rivas?
Yes.
Councilmember Jessen?
Yes.
Councilmember Witten?
Yes.
Councilmember Conover?
Yes.
And Councilmember Graham?
Yes.
7-0.
Thank you.
All right, I look forward to Thursday.
Yeah, that's right.
Keeping in mind, there's a Bears game Thursday night, so let's... I make a motion on the general courts general fund, $15,000 psychiatric services.
Again, where's this money?
Second.
Motion on the floor that is second for general court, $15,000 to $1330 psychiatric services as an additional. Any discussion?
Necessary.
I just wanted to tell you that contrary to popular belief, this isn't used for psychiatric treatment for the judges.
Or the
This is for criminal defendants.
So do you need more?
Any additional discussion? If not, roll call, please.
Councilmember Bozick?
Yes.
Councilmember Rivas?
Yes.
Councilmember Jessen?
Yes.
Councilmember Witten?
Yes.
Councilmember Conover?
Yes.
Councilmember Graham?
Yes.
And Councilmember Larson?
Yes.
7-0.
Thank you. I'll make a motion on the
I'll see
two.
you at stage 3 of your
Yes,
meeting.
you will, be great. It'll be a real hoot. Stormwater fund, I make a motion on both transfers, $1,500 and $20,000.
Second.
Motion on the floor that is a couple of seconds for stormwater fund on two of the transfers that are listed on the agenda.
Anything with the drone.
Any discussion?
Who's gonna get their pilot's license and everything?
Our engineer and our project manager.
There's some serious rules with that.
Mike Novotny and
Yeah.
Rich Graber will get it, yes. And we're going to develop a policy and use.
Can I drive it?
It's not driving, it's flying.
It's,
Assuming you're certified.
No, he's certified.
The answer's
you
no.
have, you have to have,
Mine, I got two of them.
you have to have a certified pilot next to you.
That's all very interesting. Can we
Any
get-
additional discussion? If not, all those in favor of the two transfers, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Thank you. Thanks, Bob.
I'll make a motion on the juvenile detention general fund transfer, $15,000.
Second.
Motion on the floor that is second for juvenile detention general fund transfer of $17,000 for salary to hourly. Good evening, Allison. Any discussion?
I got nothing.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Thank you.
And on this health one, local health maintenance, I make a motion on that additional, as well as the DTA fund additional, and the health general transfer, $3,000 and $2,000.
Second.
Motion on the floor for the two additionals plus the transfer. Any discussion?
No, we had discussion on this last night.
Yes, we did.
Dan?
Yes.
Seeing none, roll call on all three, please.
Okay. Councilmember Rivas?
Yes.
Councilmember Jessen?
Yes.
Councilmember Witten?
Yes.
Councilmember Conover?
Yes.
Councilmember Graham?
Yes.
Councilmember Larson?
Yes.
And Councilmember Bozick?
Yes.
7-0.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
I'll make a motion on,
Have a good night. Nice seeing you again.
all the sheriff's additionals and transfer.
Second.
Motion on the floor that has a second for the 4 additionals and 1 transfer that are listed on the agenda. Any discussion?
Well, I can't imagine there's any on the $25 uniform.
Let's take care of the
Put that
uniform.
down.
So So my one question is, so we're talking about a replacement vehicle for the drug unit. That's not something that is being, and I know we have the Drug Task Force Fund, which is great, a great place to pay for that, but that's not included in the Commissioner's vehicle replacement
No.
plan, correct? All right,
That
that's
was
cool.
just the money that was in the
Perfect.
old fund that moved over to us, we just needed the line item.
How are we doing on overtime with the jail?
I'm asking for 45.
I mean, is that going to get us through?
Probably not.
How close?
Hopefully close. I just was surprised at what I just did, the payroll was a lot more. It's still going high.
Okay, that's my questions, let's roll.
Yeah.
Any additional questions?
Do you guys auction the lists and stuff after you guys remove the old ones, or is that just gonna go for scrap?
That list will have to go to scrap because it's...
Yeah, they're gonna remove it and take it with them,
Yeah.
so
All right,
not exactly sure what they're
no,
gonna do with
No,
it.
I'm just saying, through the company, do we get reimbursed for any of that ever, or how does that go?
They give you like $200 to take it down and remove it.
It's a game changer. Can we get that question?
Any additional questions?
Put it in the general fund.
If not, have roll call on the 4 additionals plus the 1 transfer. Roll call, please.
Okay, Councilmember Jessen?
Yes.
Councilmember Witten?
Come on, Dan.
You call me? I'm
Yes.
sorry, I was consulted. I don't want to answer any questions without talking to my attorney first.
Okay.
Yes, yeah, that sounds great.
Councilmember Conover?
Yes.
Councilmember Graham?
Yes.
Councilmember Larson?
Yes.
Councilmember Bozick?
Yes.
And Councilmember Rivas?
Yes.
7-0.
Thank you very much.
Great. On these parks, I'd like to make a motion to approve both transfers.
Second.
A motion on the floor that is second to approve the 2 transfers from the Parks General Fund. Any discussion?
Someone ran into the fence or something?
Yes.
Did they have insurance or anything like that?
They did. We actually just received the check yesterday.
All right.
Any additional questions? If not, all
Was
those...
it you? Me.
That goes down. If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, motion carries. Thanks, Walter.
Good night, Walter.
Madam Auditor, second reading, please.
Okay, whereas it has been determined that it is now necessary to appropriate more money than was appropriated in the annual budget, therefore be it ordained resolved by the Porter County Council of Porter County, Indiana, that for the expenses of the taxing unit, the following additional sums of money are hereby appropriated out of the funds named and for the purposes specified, subject to the laws governing the same. General Fund, 1,000, a total of $24,825. Local Health Maintenance Fund, 1168, $25,000. Rainy Day Fund, 1186, a total of $44,788.08. ILHDTA Fund, 1206, a total of $30,000. Drug Task Force Fund, 4010, $10,500. Public Service Data Processing, 4907, $541. And that concludes second reading.
Thank you. Can we have a roll call on second reading, please?
Councilmember Witten?
Yes.
Councilmember Conover?
Yes.
Councilmember Graham?
Yes.
Councilmember Larson? Councilmember Bozick?
Yes.
Councilmember Rivas?
Yes.
And Councilmember Jessen?
Yes.
7-0.
Okay, thank you. And attorney's report.
Nothing to report at this time. Just want to make sure that we, Thursday of this week for the second reading, and then Monday of next week for the foundation budget.
Well, technically, it's Monday of next week for all the budgets.
Okay.
Because we're reopening the public hearing for all of them, but yes, is the answer to that question.
Well, no, I thought we scrapped one of those.
We scrapped the final, we moved the final reading
Right.
because statutorily it has to be 10 days from the public hearing, and we're reopening public hearing for, on the 2nd, so it had to be after the 12th.
And I believe this, Joy, is reflecting the latest and greatest. Everybody has a hard copy of what these next few meeting dates are.
So I would like to make a suggestion that, one change, Mike, you know, you talked about this, I guess this might be as good a time as any. The reason we were talking about doing the raises on the 28th was because I wanted to have it a week before. Vicki, are you listening? Because I want you to weigh in on this. We were talked about having raises a week before final reading, and since we've moved...
had a child.
Since we've moved final reading...
Dan.
Since we've moved, she's used to this. Since we moved final reading, I would suggest that we move the discussion on raises back, because I'm going to need more time to go through some of these as well. I think you guys will too, rather than rush ourselves. Since now we have more time to final reading, what do you guys think?
I like that.
It's a great idea.
What are we looking at?
Yeah, notify everybody, but...
So right now, our final reading is October 26th?
26, yeah.
When are you gone, Jeremy?
Well, Karen's gone the week of the 15th, and she's gone from 15th to the 20th, 21st. I leave on the 20th, I'm gone to the 25th.
So you're good on the 26th?
Must be the new system.
For final reading, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make it, take it easy, buddy. I don't want you to get the angry text when I give you the wrong date. So,
You have to hug it out if you don't knock it off.
So, what do you think?
Well,
Mike?
we're meeting on the 2nd?
Yes.
Yeah. What's the second to do anything?
What?
No, we didn't. No, we didn't. Take it easy, Joy. We'll bring you up here in a minute. No, we are meeting on the 2nd. What I'm asking the board is, can we move the raise discussion?
Yes, it's scheduled to be this Thursday.
Which is scheduled to be this Thursday, but we need more time.
Did we already email everyone that it was going to be?
Well, we can email them again. If they like raises, they'll be all right. They won't boycott that meeting, trust me.
I would suggest that it take some time to go through what the budget asks are to begin with, and then to talk about wages on top of that. That's going to take some preparation.
That's correct. And you guys, I wasn't here last night, but I got the blow by blow, and we're pushing up against our maximum, what we can really get away with, and we haven't even gotten into raises. So I think my suggestion would be, and my thought would be, as we approach that third reading, well in advance of that, certainly in advance of the raises, look at some of these budgets that we've approved on second reading, see if there's anything that can be removed from those, take a look and see how much money that we're really, maybe we can move to non-general fund, just any avenue that you think might be worthy of discussion to help us find money. We can then get a recap from the auditor on exactly what we've got available in these funds and carryover funds and all that kind of business, and then we can go into that raise discussion with true and accurate options. And that can't happen by Thursday, there's no way. So we need time. So maybe, what would you need, Vicki, if we were to give you the raise numbers, how much time do you need between that and final reading? Give me an accurate.
As long as there's no changes.
There's always changes.
The last-minute changes.
Yep.
Probably a few days, maybe 3 days.
All right, so 3 days. So that gives you, what do you think, guys?
But can I say something? The week of October 16th through 20th is our auditor conference, and I did...
Karen's not here. Do we have, can I ask this question? Do we have...
Right.
No, forget that. Forget that question. Go ahead.
Well, what leaves us then is the week of the 8th.
Won't give enough time.
Jeremy's gone on the 24th, right?
No, Jeremy's gone the
true.
23rd, 24th.
The problem is, what I was getting at was, could we do the raises, have like a budget meeting on the night of our regular council meeting on the 24th, but it sounds like that won't be enough time for Vicki to get it turned around for the 26th, is that correct?
And I'm gone.
You're gone on the 24th?
Jeremy's
I think you're back on the
23rd,
24th.
24th, 25th.
You don't listen very well.
Can we end this vacation early?
Maybe it's a business trip.
Probably is.
I don't know.
What about like,
The 9th, the 11th,
how about the 17th?
Karen's gone.
And the auditors are gone.
That week's out, yeah, we're...
I would suggest that we need at least all of the week of the 2nd and going into the week of the 9th to really get these numbers together.
We meet on the 11th.
That's fine with me.
Fine with me.
I might be sore, but I'm in. the
I've
Crown.
never missed a meeting.
You're just,
I'm not sure.
if we combine all the late, that equals a meeting.
October 11th, does that sound good for everybody?
4 minutes, Nick.
Yeah, you combine them, they add up.
Okay, so we'll be adding a wage discussion meeting on October 11th?
So we're not going to have a meeting this Thursday, we're moving that to...
No, we're going to have a meeting, we're just not going to do raises on that night.
Everything on this sheet is correct, we're just going to add October the 11th.
All right, got you guys.
What time, what's the pleasure in terms of time?
Can we do 5 o'clock? Our department heads are still,
Can we tell Larson it's 4:45, though?
we'll tell them it's 4:30.
5 o'clock on October the 11th.
Great.
That sounds great.
And we'll get everyone notified,
Good for that? Okay.
and we'll notify all the departments.
Yeah, that
Sounds good to me.
Terrific. Any other matter that may possibly come before the council at this point? Motion to adjourn?
Good, he'll be here 2 nights.
So moved.
Motion
Second.
second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, meeting adjourned.